In fact, countries like the one we live in and why we're protesting here today, like the United States, are funding it. They just sent an additional $14 billion in military aid to Israel on top of the $3.8 billion in military aid to Israel that we give every single year. Do you know what that means? That's $10 million of your tax dollars, of your money, going to fund the same bombs that are being dropped on Gaza.
Standing right next to it.
Going to fund the same bullets that are being sent to settlers across the West Bank. Bullets that end up in the chests of Palestinian children. And it's not just in Gaza where they are killing people. In the last several days, we have also seen a massacre in Jenin, where 14 Palestinians were killed. This is not new to us. We have been seeing this since 1948, since the Nakba, which means catastrophe. The Nakba is the Arabic word for catastrophe, and it marks when over 750,000 Palestinians were forcibly expelled from their land, 531 Palestinian villages depopulated, thousands and thousands of Palestinians slaughtered, killed, and that's what they're doing in Gaza today. Not just through this genocide, but also flattening the entire city, flattening the north of Gaza, destroying Gaza City, ordering people to evacuate the north. I want to highlight Dr. Hamam Allah from the Ashifa Hospital, who did not leave, who did not take the evacuation orders from the north and stayed in the north along with many Palestinians in Gaza, because they know that if they left their homes, it would be the last time that they would see it, and that they would probably be killed or die on the way, that they would probably be killed or die on their way to the south. So they decided to stay with their homes because they know that Israel's objective of killing, of committing this genocide against Palestinian people is to take more Palestinian land. And so this doctor in his last interview said, and if I go, who treats my patients? We are not animals. We have the right to receive total health care. You think I went to medical school? He said, you think I went to medical school and to postgraduate degrees for 14 years, so I think only about my life and not my patients? I'm asking you, ma'am, do you think this is the reason I went to medical school? To think only about my life? This is not the reason I became a doctor. And he is one of many heroic doctors and people in Gaza who continue to deliver health care, who continue to resist, who continue to keep life. And this is what you are doing here today. This is what we are saying by coming out here today. This is not a far away conflict that doesn't affect us. It's not a conflict. It's genocide. It's being funded by our tax dollars. It's angering. It's frustrating. It's heartbreaking. It's enraging. And we know that no human should be treated this way. I know many of us in the crowd are Palestinian or have Palestinian family and friends. Some of you probably have had family killed in Gaza, if not in other parts of Palestine. Raise your hand if you have ever had a family member killed in Palestine or a loved one. So we know that there are people in the crowd over here who are personally affected by this. But you shouldn't have to be Palestinian to stand with humanity. You don't need to be Muslim to stand with humanity. And that's why people have been coming out of every corner of New York City in full support of Palestinian liberation, not just calling for an end to the bombs, but calling to break the siege on Gaza now, to end the blockade on Gaza. affect the Palestinian people and that's going to keep killing them. It's not just the bombs that are being directly dropped. Because a genocide does not end when the shelling stops. Genocide creates a toxic biosphere. Every assault on Gaza, and we know this is not the first time, we know that they have carpet bombed Gaza, that this is their strategy. 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, many dates that are missing. This happens every couple of years. Every time they do this, there's a spike in cancer rates in Gaza. They find that the presence of banned chemicals, war chemicals like uranium, asbestos, phosphates from oxidation on white phosphorus that will continue to make the land toxic and kill people for generations to come. It's not just the people that we have lost, but the people we will continue to lose. And that's only speaking of those who survived with no injuries. What about the injured? What about the children whose bodies will grow into their injuries, who have lost limbs? A lifetime of surgeries that they're going to need to get, that they won't even be able to get as long as the siege and blockade continues. The health sector has collapsed. There are shortages of even the most basic medical equipment and devices. They don't even have access to clean water. Israeli officials have made it clear they are cutting off all access to food, fuel, and water. What is that? What is that short of a genocide? How is that not a genocide? So it's not just a ceasefire that we should be pushing for. We should be pressuring and pushing for the end of the siege and the occupation. Because any other reality besides liberation means at least thousands, if not millions of Palestinians of future generations will continue to experience slow deaths by deliberate means of medical neglect. And this goes back to this ongoing genocide. So we have been having protests since before October 7th. We have been taking the streets all over New York City. We have been shutting it down. They do it better than us in London, where they had 1 million people. They do it better than us in Yemen, in Indonesia, in so many countries. In Egypt, in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Syria, and countries around the world, bringing out millions of people in support of Palestinian liberation, not just an end to the bombs. Because as long as Israel's occupation of Palestine continues, as long as there's a siege and blockade, as long as Israel still colonizes our land, this is going to continue to happen over and over and over again. Because this is their MO. This is their modus operandi. This is what they have been telling us clearly for years, and what we Palestinians have been experiencing and have been trying to tell you. It's about killing people, clearing the land and taking it, settling it. Because Gaza sits on top of billions of dollars of oil. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is exactly how Israel was created. By killing the people, clearing the land, and living on top of it themselves. This is exactly what they're telling us what they want to do to Gaza. And while they make it out to seem, when we say, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, they make false, baseless, disgusting accusations, calling that anti-Semitism. They are actually trying to colonize Palestine from the river to the sea. And not just Palestine. Also the Golan Heights of Syria, also parts of Lebanon. Their presence in the region requires the colonization and subjugation by imperialism of all Arab nations around them. They make it clear that they want to take this land, that they will not stop until they kill us all or kick us all out. But we have not let them do that because the Palestinian people have been fighting for over 75 years. The Palestinian people have a right to resist genocide. The Palestinian people have a right to resist annihilation. And so, while they will always continue to label our resistance as something vile, while they continue to label and turn the world against us, the truth is becoming clearer every day. And as long as we keep talking about Palestine, most of the people around the world already know the truth. We don't see protests for Israel or for Zionism as big as the ones that we see for Palestine. Not just in the amount of people that come out, but the dedication that people have every day. There's been a protest almost every single day for the last month for Palestine. The masses of the world, whether it's in neighboring Arab countries, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Africa, the masses are on the side of the Palestinian people. And this moment has illustrated that so effectively and so clearly. The masses are on our side. It is these corrupt governments, these corrupt, racist governments that make money off of war and selling weapons. It is they that are maintaining the subjugation and the oppression of the Palestinian people. They are doing it with your tax dollars. So yes, when we shut down this street in Staten Island in front of Borough Hall and people say, why are you in our way? What do I have to do with it? You have everything to do with it because you're funding it. And if you don't speak out against it, you are okay with it.
Yep.
So we must speak out against genocide wherever we go, wherever we may be, in our universities, in our workplaces, at home. If you have Zionist friends, you need to make them support Palestine. Otherwise, why are you calling them friends? If you go to a Zionist university that funds the same companies that are demolishing Palestinian homes or that are investing in it, you need to get them to pass BDS. If you are part of a union or part of any institution that puts out pro-Israel statements right now, demand their retraction. Make them understand that they are part of manufacturing consent for a genocide, like we've seen these mainstream media outlets do over and over again. Like the New York Times, like CNN, who have been caught in lies repeatedly. Parroting Zionist propaganda, and then 2 weeks later, they'll admit that they lied, but only after they killed another 11,000 Palestinians. This is why at our last protest, before we even passed by the New York Times, we look to our left and we see fake blood splattered all over it. Because the New York Times, because CNN, who parroted these Zionist lies, all have blood on their hands. They have the blood of the Palestinian people on their hands. And just like they didn't report the truth about Palestine, they couldn't even report the truth of what happened at their own building. They pretended like it didn't exist, like it didn't happen, just like they're not reporting the truth on Palestine now. So for the media who's here, I hope that this makes it loud and clear to you that the people of Staten Island, the people of New York City, we stand with Gaza, we stand with Palestine. And when the Zionists found out that we were going to be here, they said they were going to light up this building blue for Israel. And look at these disgusting lights behind. beautiful banner that says Free Palestine to broadcast our message to the buses coming out, to the people coming out, but they forced us onto the street here, thinking that they can silence us. But this is the perfect illustration. They can't get people. They can't get the masses. We bring the masses out. Y'all are out here for Palestine. They can't bring out pro-Israelis. That's why they just have to know one powerful guy who's going to turn the lights in those buildings blue. Just like they know the one powerful guy in America who's going to send them the weapons and the funding to murder Palestinians, even though we believe that most Americans, most people around the world, if they knew the truth, if they didn't have these media outlets lying to them over and over again, it is inevitable that they would support Palestine because it's common sense.
Genocide!
So for the media who's coming to cover the blue lights, make sure that the voices of the people are heard. And if you have a Palestinian flag, wave it higher. Because those lights are representing support for a genocide right now. How disgusting! How disgusting is it that they kill 11,000 Palestinians and they know that we are here to protest that and they try to run salt on the wound that they try to They are proud of killing. That is exactly what those lights mean. This is exactly why we need this protest on Staten Island. They are co-signing genocide, and we are making it loud and clear. This will not be done in our name. And we have to do everything we can to stop it. All the time, not just our protests, all the time. Boycotting Israeli products. Ensuring that any spaces that you're a part of do not support this genocide, that they speak out against it. But I'm glad that the world is finally going mask off right now. Because we know who our true supporters are. Who are the people who are truly against the